Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever time of day this video finds you. It's your boy Jay here, and today we're going to be talking about switch skills and the possibility for them moving forward in the series instead of being stuck here in Rise and Sunbreak. Personally, I kind of like the idea of switch skills, but there are many different, I'll say, permutations for how this mechanic could be moved forward in the series, right? And we're going to talk about them today, and I'm going to open up the forum and highly encourage you guys to comment down below what you think about it, how you feel about switch skills, what kind of things you want to see moving forward to Monster Hunter 6 and beyond, right? Because I ran a poll on Twitter. I left it up for a day, and I got 215 votes, right? And 70% of people want switch skills to return, according to this poll, in Monster Hunter 6. Granted, the Twitter audience, the people on Twitter are not the same people on YouTube, so I'm bringing it here to you guys to see how you guys feel about it, right? I got a lot of different responses in there, and they range all over the place. So I think it's a very interesting topic, and I'd love to have the conversation with you guys. I do plan on interacting with every single comment that hits this video, right? So yeah, let's start talking, and yeah, let's get into it. Switch skills. How do they make it to Monster Hunter 6, if they even make it at all? Let's dive right in. Alright, so the very first thing I want to talk about is, possibility number one is that things don't change that much, right? Switch skills stay in the game, and they're much the same as they are right now in the current iteration of Rise and Sunbreak. However, there is a big thing that I think has to change, right? And that is, I don't see the wire bugs making it to the next game. Now, I don't hate wire bugs, okay? Let me just say that right now. I've already made a video on this. I would be okay if they didn't show up in the next game, but they might not make it to the next game, right? So if there are no wire bugs in the next game, what do we do about Silkbind arts, right? Good question. So I'm thinking that it's possible that we go back to something closer to GU, where there's a bar that you charge up as you deal damage or take damage that lets you use the arts, right? So I'm thinking it could like give you one bar and it charges up, and then you get to use an art, right, that you have set in the switch skill menu. Does that make sense? So rather than back in GU when you played Striker, right, and you had the 3 different bars that charge up 3 different arts, where you can use them independent of each other because they all had different charge times. I'm thinking we get one bar, and how long or how short or how many units that bar takes to fill could change depending on what you slot in each skill, right? So the controls wouldn't be that different. You'd still have like the hold the ZL button or the L2 or the left bumper, depending on whichever controller is applicable here. And you have the triangle or the X or the circle or the A button, whatever, what I'm saying? You hold that button and you hold another button and you get to do your art, and you would be able to do an art that which one you want when your bar gets full. Does that make sense? So you would have to manage this one bar and say, all right, am I going to use this art right now because I have my bar full, or am I going to save it for a bigger opening so I could do a bigger attack? But the bar itself will take longer to charge if you have something like, I don't know, Impact Crater, and I know this isn't going to make sense, but it's off the top of my head, Bullet Barrage set, right? Those are 2 skills that used to take 2 wire bugs, so the bar is going to take longer to charge overall, so you're going to use less arts overall. Or you can have something like Absolute Evasion and, I don't know, Destroyer Oil, right? Destroyer Oil used to only take 1 wire bug, and Absolute Evasion was a small charge time, so your bar would charge up a lot more times throughout the hunt because you're managing that 1 bar, right? That's one way I could kind of see them bringing arts back, right? And kind of having the game kind of stay the same. You would still have like the switch skills that affect the move set of the weapon in general. Think Greatsword with its surging slashes versus the charge, or Hammer with the Hammer Strength mode versus Hammer Courage mode, which is a switch skill, but it affects the base line moveset of the weapon rather than you're just selecting which art you want, right? So like there's a separation here that I want to kind of distinguish, like arts in and of itself versus other switch skills which change the moveset of your base weapon, right? So that's possibility number one. Things kind of stay the same. You have both the switch skills where you change your base moveset, and you have arts that you have to manage, but instead of wire bugs, waiting for your charge, you can manage a bar much like how we used to in GU. I think that is a possibility that we get, and that's possibility, we're gonna call that possibility number one. Things don't change much. All right, so possibility number one, things don't change much. We still have arts, we still have switch skills that change up our base moveset, and maybe we change the way arts are charged up. Possibility number two is we get rid of arts altogether, right? No more hunting arts and no more silkbind arts, right? All we have are switch skills, right? And I already did kind of bring up these two weapons earlier, but they're like the best example. The great sword with the surging strikes mode, and the regular tried and true 1 2 3 true charge mode, and the hammer with courage mode versus strength mode, right? I could see stuff like that staying in the game, right? Or sword and shield with, instead of hard basher combo, you got the drill combo, right? Things like that could stay in the game, right? So we don't have arts anymore, but your moveset is still very customizable, and you still have a similar menu that we have in the game right now, where you go in and you can change up different parts of the skill set based on whatever weapon that you have right now, you know what I'm saying? So things like Gunlance can still have charge selling versus blast dash, right? Like those aren't arts, those are just moveset changes that you can choose to do, right? But in this example, Gunlance would lose Bullet Barrage because that's a Silkbind art. There's no more Bullet Barraging anymore, you know what I mean? So that is also a possibility, right? And there's no more arts to manage, and you just choose whichever moveset you kind of want from there, right? So like little things like Hammer's Water Strike would stick around. I could see that definitely being a possibility, and I think a lot of people would actually go for this option as well. As a lot of people have the complaint about Sunbreak that there's too many counters, everybody has a counter, blah, 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 which is a valid complaint, right? A lot of weapons have a lot of counters. However, a lot of those counters are arts. They're Silkbind arts, right? Strong Arm Stance, Anchor Rage, let's see, Shrouded Vault. Those are all arts that you have to activate at the correct time. So by taking out arts of the game entirely, perhaps you have solved some of that problem where it's like, damn, every damn weapon has a counter, bro. And now Lance and Longsword can have their identity back as being the counter weapons that you want to use. And because now not every weapon has a counter, the game should kind of slow down a little bit, right? Like monsters shouldn't hyper aggress all the time because everybody has a counter they can throw out. Like if the monster's being so aggressive, start throwing out your counters, get good, land them, punish, right? But if not every weapon has a counter anymore, the monsters are gonna kind of slow down a little bit, I think, right? Which is also another criticism I see about Rise and Sunbreak come up all the time. The games are too fast, games are too fast, games are too fast. So I do see this possibility, we'll call it possibility 2, is that arts as a whole are gone, but we still get switch skills and you can customize the moveset of your weapon, the base moveset, right? That being said, balancing is going to be real tough, right? And we already kind of see that here in Sunbreak and Rise, is that like a lot of switch skill loadouts end up being the same because there's one skill that's just strictly better than another, or one of the play styles is way more desirable than the other, right? So I mean, granted, Rise and Sunbreak was Capcom's kind of first try at this sort of thing when it comes to switch skills, so I do think that they're gonna get better, but I'm hoping that the balancing will lean more towards both of them being very close, like neck and neck of all of the skills are kind of viable, and they're all just so useful and different that not everybody gravitates toward the same set of skills, right? That's one of the things that I would really like to see, especially if we go down possibility number 2, right? Because now that there's no more arts, all you have is your moveset. And if, you know, all you have are some switch skills that change up certain properties of your weapon, I would like those changes to be balanced, and both of them, or even more, hell, there's sometimes 3 choices per slot in a switch skill loadout. I want all of them to be kind of viable or have different uses. That way we're encouraged to have a whole lot of different playstyles for maybe different monsters or different situations, blah 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 blah. So yeah, that is what possibility number 2 is that we don't have arts of any kind, and it's just switch skills, right? Like changing up your actual moveset on the weapon is what moves forward. Okay, so we've talked about possibility 1. Things don't change much. We still have arts. We still have switch skills. Possibility 2. No more arts entirely, but we still have switch skills. We can change around our weapon's base moveset. So that leads me to possibility 3, which is nothing at all. That's right. No more arts. No more switch skills. We go back to how it was in like World and Iceborne, where the weapon is the weapon. You can't change anything about it. Boom, right? Now, this sounds like something that most people don't want, right? According to, of course, the little Twitter poll I ran, where a bunch of people were like, yeah, I want switch skills to come back. But thing about this possibility is, let's just be honest, you know what I mean? Like, switch skills and thinking of different skills that each weapon could have is work. It is work, right? So I'm thinking if we do get new weapons, which is a possibility, we haven't had a new weapon since Generation 4. We're 2 generations removed from having a new weapon. So if we get a new weapon type in Monster Hunter 6, I suspect that this may be the possibility we get, where all the weapons are the weapons as they are. You can't really change much about them, but we have 1, maybe even 2 brand new weapons for you to try that don't really have an identity, right? Because imagine you make a new weapon, now you got to make switch skills for the new weapon as well. And I think that could be super challenging, especially when you're trying to have a new weapon come into the fray and really, you know, lay down the foundation for what its role is, for what the weapon is about. You know what I mean? You know, for example, Insect Glaive, that weapon is obvious what it's for. Aerial mobility, mounting superiority, blah blah blah. Charge Blade, a complex playstyle where you switch between axe and sword and shield mode, and you charge up your files, and you release these big attacks after charging up your files. Like, that's very cool and very specific. Those weapons are very good at what they do. So imagine trying to bring in these new weapons that, you know, maybe have new gimmicks that Capcom wants to explore, and now you got to create switch skills for them on top of that. There's a chance that, you know, you make it too complicated, the player base may not be able to catch on to the new weapons and use them as maybe they were designed to be used. You know what I mean? So I could see that being, you know, a thing where it's like, you know what, no switch skills, no arts this time, but here, boom, new weapons, new toys for you guys to play with and enjoy in this brand new Monster Hunter experience. Alright, so those 3 possibilities are the main things that seem obvious to me. Obvious ways that Capcom could approach switch skills moving forward into the series, bringing them to Monster Hunter 6 or not. Hey, it is what it is. Either way, I'm excited for Monster Hunter 6. I'm excited to see what Capcom has got cooking for us. I cannot wait. So either of these possibilities I'm down with, you know. Of course, some I like more than others, but hey, that comes with it. Whatever Capcom's doing, they're doing something that we don't know we want, okay? So, you know, during this period where we're in between games, it's kind of fun to speculate and talk to each other about what the future of the series could or would look like, you know, if we were in charge. So definitely leave a comment down below about your ideas. Let me know if you like my ideas. Let me know if you think I'm on or off. talk to me. I plan on replying to each and every comment that hits this video. We'll keep it civil. I don't usually have a problem with that here. You guys have been awesome throughout my entire YouTube journey, so thank you so much for that. And don't be shy to write a book down there, man. Hey, some of y'all be putting down some whole novels down there in the comments. It might take me a while to get to them because I want to give you guys that same energy that you give me, you know what I'm saying? So if you write a huge comment addressing a lot of things, I'll sit down at my computer, read it, and try to address everything that you bring up in the conversation while we talk about the subject at hand. So I want to thank you guys so much for you know, giving me this great comment section and giving me something to look forward to every time I create a video. So yeah, comment down below your thoughts on switch skills. Moving on to the series, should they stay here? Should we bring arts and styles back? Let me know in the comment section down below, and don't forget to subscribe on your way out if you're still here. Thank you for watching, and as always, people, happy hunting. Peace.